And we're here with my man, Dwayne Money Bowe, 2010 Pro Bowler, led the NFL in receiving touchdowns, somebody I went against for many years, started off as AFC rivals, wound up as teammates in Kansas City. Dwayne, what's going on, man? How you living?
Big Stan, I want to shout out to you, my brother. You've always been a role model of mine and a player who I admire, and I would say you're one of the toughest cornerbacks I ever faced, so thanks for giving me that opportunity, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. You always made me bring my A game. I always knew he was going to make them tough catches, and I know you was tough as hell to bring down. I always hated going against you, but I loved it. I love the challenge, man. So appreciate it. So number one, my man Money Bowe is not an athlete. He's a rap-lete, somebody that has turned over into the rap game ever since he stopped playing. So jumping into it, my first question would be to you is rap always something you knew was going to be your next career or something that evolved after your playing days were over with?
I would say that I knew that was going to be an embarking journey because I actually was, you should know how I was in the locker room. I had all the latest music.
Yeah.
I was just always on, like, just expressing myself, being, just being creative. And always, like I said, everybody knows me from being around the Migos, Lil Wayne, and actually really hanging with these guys. It was always in me. I just didn't have no platform to show it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have YouTube, and they only had Facebook when I was freestyling. Now you have platforms you can put it out and get heard and go viral. It's always been a part of it, but I had to do what was gonna make the money at the time, and that was football. So I didn't actually start playing football until I was 17. So that's how late I was.
Oh wow! Never knew that, man. Okay. And so, piggybacking on that with the whole rap game, I know that a lot of players, when they're done playing, they don't necessarily have that next platform, that next path already set up in their mind of where they're going to go. Matter of fact, me, myself, when I stopped playing, I probably stopped maybe about a year or two earlier than I planned to. You were there with me in Kansas City. You know how everything went down. And I'm over here at the gym just talking with my homeboys. They're asking me football questions, and I'm answering their questions. They're telling me how, Ralph, you ever thought about being a broadcaster, going to, commentating, stuff like that, because you love the game and you speak of it very well. So one thing led to another, and now here I am, smack dab right in the middle of it. So what advice would you give today's players as far as knowing that this is not going to last forever? And you got to have your path already set up for when you are done playing, it's a smooth transition, not being that bumpy road, which so many of our teammates, so many of our guys we played against that you know of, and I know of as well, that have actually gone through those bumpy roads.
Oh, man, I just wanted to be a role model to the guys that when they was finished had a backup plan. A lot of guys know I like to freestyle, but my wife does, real estate, so I do that. On the studio, produce. I have my home production company. A lot of people didn't know that, so it's just I'm teaching guys how to prepare after the league, but do it now. If you love music, start learning by owning your masters, how to own a record label, how to, do the digital sale. Learn something. It's not just put all your eggs in one basket, and that's why I trademarked the word rapidly because I want guys to know it's not just, you're just an athlete rapping. Like you're a mogul, you're a role model, you're not just a rapper that's just giving out bad information. You're really like teaching guys how to manage money, show them, these are the other lanes you can go in case you get lost or get tired of, playing football. Football come to an end, you got to have a second goal, and I want people to know, like, real estate, people will always need somewhere to stay. A lot of people love music, so those two things that, us African Americans get into when we're done with sports.
It's funny you mentioned real estate because that's something that I got into in probably the last couple of years of my playing days. And I got several homes back in my hometown, back in Austin, ATX, that I rent out. But that was never really, my passion. And then all of a sudden I discovered my passion, whether it was in broadcasting, radio, what have you. And so it's funny you mentioned the real estate because, yeah, you're right. A man always needs a place to stay. So that's something that's going to always be prevalent in today's world. And another thing you mentioned, you and your lovely wife, Teresa, I noticed that not only are you a rap elite, now you dabbling into this TV game. Saw you on Love Goals. Go ahead and talk about that experience that you and Teresa were able to learn from.
Definitely. Shout out my wife. Shout out Oprah Network also. You know, they came and, you know, called us actually because they seen us on the gram, how we promote Black power, you know, power moves, love couples, and, you know, just positive, you know, family moves. And, you know, we did the show back in October. We got to meet 5 of the cast members. That was also cool. And from that, you know, she wrote a book that comes out in 2 weeks. Oprah co-signed it. We got a song we dropped about it. I didn't know she was molested as a kid. And that's why she didn't like, you know, when all of us get together and we vibe in our man cave, our kids come in, and I have a little daughter now, so when my boys grab my little girl, she's timid. So I would have never known if I didn't take this role to be on this show that my wife was molested. Actually, all the girls on the show was molested. And that's a big topic in the neighborhood that, you know, in our community we don't talk about.
Yeah, and you know, shout out to Teresa for actually being brave enough and the humility, and I'm sorry, not even the humility, being strong enough to actually go and tell her story on a platform like that, because you're right, unfortunately, that is something that happens a lot. I've had women close to me that have suffered from being molested as a child or in their adolescent years. So it's definitely a sensitive topic. And I think that it empowers women to actually be able to go ahead and voice that and actually own it, not go ahead and try to hide it and wear it like it's some sort of a badge of them to make them less of a woman or anything like that. So shout out to Teresa for being strong. I love watching you guys on the show. I was watching it last night, brushing up on it. Anything else that from that experience that you're able to take away, or even maybe from not necessarily the other couples, I don't want you, putting nobody out there, but something that else that you may be able to take away from that experience, because it seemed like it was very enlightening.
Definitely, man. You know, one thing, a guy in our shoes, we don't think we need therapy or help. Like, we think money solves everything. And I wanted to do this to let all guys empowered, you know, with millions of dollars feel like, you know, it's okay to talk to a therapist. It's okay to see help. Like, I never thought I needed, but if I didn't go, I would have never learned this tragedy that happened that's been hindering our relationship when it comes to the friends. So it's like, I want to be the face of opening up and, you know, no more secrets, no more capping, all facts, just like Dr. CB. I want to be the hood Dr. CB just to get guys woke and give them another ear that's going to be, you know, good news instead of all this fake news that we're watching.
I feel you, because it definitely is a lot of fake news. I like that. It's almost kind of like Uncle Bowe. Kind of like how you got Uncle Snoop on the West Coast, Uncle Bowe on the East Coast.
Yeah, you know.
All right. And speaking of Teresa, lovely woman, I want you to go ahead and talk about one thing we talked about a little bit on text message yesterday, about how choosing the right woman, not necessarily saying what society and everybody's supposed to say you're supposed to wind up with, but choosing the right woman, how that can be advantageous to a man, whether it's during his playing days, after his playing days, post-career, and just everything in a nutshell of how that can be a positive impact rather than it be a negative.
Oh, definitely. Well, you know how it is, man. When we was in KC, the head coaches makes the player wives, you know, force marriage on them while we're playing.
Yes.
During the season, I was asked, baby, let's get married. Let's look for the ring. And I'm like, yo, we 9-0. Let me focus on, you know what I mean? But the pressure of being married is such a big thing to them that it gets us off our, and this when I was going to hit for my 56 million. You was there, you seen it was like, wow,
I remember.
Is this the business of it? So now that I'm out, and I get to mentor guys like Chris Jones, Taylor Gabriel. I mean, I mentor like 20 guys, and they all done seen multiple $1 million contracts because of the information I gave them. This is how the game is to be played. This is how you got to play. And just like when I learned from you, bro, it's power in silence. Just do the job, you know what I mean? And act dumb. You don't have to show that the emotion. I make $100,000